presentation from the goat shed. So it's Saturday morning here in Australia, October 7th, and I can't tell you the temperature today because I forgot to look.
It's a bit nippy.
But it's a bit coolish. It was only, I know when I was in the car, it was only about 14 degrees Celsius driving over here. So we're a little late with this presentation of what's happening in October at the moment, but needless to say, here we are. So everyone knows and probably saw our video on our Pinfest. We went live there. That was our last live stream. Very successful Pinfest. 21,000 Australian dollars were raised for the event, which is somewhat a record, and went to a charity. So that's all done and dusted for another year. It'll be on again third weekend of September next year. Same place. Probably the same amount of machines. I think there was 101 machines there. There was a couple people pulled out at the last minute. But anyway, that sort of thing tends to happen. Now, other than that, we've had a few jobs come in. Everyone saw our video we did on, what was it, Grand Slam, with a few interesting problems that we encountered on that. Nothing that couldn't be fixed, but all the same, lots of fun. And the same owner also at the same time brought up a 1977 Zachariah machine, Supersonic. Now Supersonic is a game which is really a Williams knockoff, and probably out of all the other brands of machines, Zachariah sort of shone out as being a lot more quality built than, say, Resell or Playmatic or AMI, any of those type of games. So we've got that to do with, and that's actually got a missing bonus unit in it. It was like that when the guy bought it. We're not fitting a bonus unit to it. The guy hasn't got one, but we've got to get it going. It's got some funny problems, and he contacted us again, and he's got a schematic for it. So we'll have a look at that, and we'll most likely do a video on the repairs to that. So we're currently working on a card whiz. You can see that over my shoulder. Now, we've once again done a video on that about 3 weeks back, and we've commenced repairs, and a little later today also we'll be starting another video on the repairs that we're doing and some of the troubleshooting. So watch out for that. That'll be available sometime next week. And oh goodness me, we have Ronnie from Joe's Classic Arcade viewing our live stream. Hi Ron, how are you?
Hey Ron.
I share my seat. I'll let you have a look at Graham. There he is.
Hey mate, yeah.
No, that's not him. Hang on a sec.
Close enough.
There he is.
Hey Ronnie. Busy start to the morning.
Yeah, busy start.
Saturday morning. Usually Saturday, all the people come round and just sit around and talk rubbish and don't get much work done, but we do what we can. But it's always a good day Saturday.
Yeah, so it's our we have Sundays off, people. Only one day a week we get off, and that's Sunday. Spanky insists we work. Damn goat.
Yeah, while he's at the pub.
Yeah, it is the best stuff to talk about, rubbish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what else we got coming in, Graham? A guy rang us up a couple of days ago about a Jungle Queen. So we'll have one of those coming in. We told him to wait till the end of October. We really want to finish that Beach Club bingo out the back.
Yeah, that's straight as after we finish this card whiz.
Yeah, we had I'll show you in a minute, people. We had our new goat shed sign for the shed.
Yeah,
I picked it up from the artist this morning, earlier on.
The lovely Linda.
Yeah, the lovely Linda. She'll be here later. to be rewarded with a barbecue lunch.
So you've got to paint some slot car models.
Yeah, she's painting those, isn't she? Yeah, Graham's brother's into slot cars. So the bodies are really slick and that. She's getting that done. A guy did ring us up about a Royal Guard, but I don't know, we haven't heard back from him.
They'll just ring out of the blue when
they're ready.
Yeah.
And another guy rang us about a high hand also, which, you know, we may see. Hello from Massachusetts. Boston. Hi, Ron. Massachusetts, or Boston in particular, is one place I really like to get to. My good friend Paul Paddy, he is in that area or vicinity somewhere. I've been invited to his place, hoping to get back to America next year. How many games do we keep in queue? We generally have 2 to 3. We've now got more room to store them. We don't like to have too many in here. I'll give you a look in just a second if you can hang in there.
We've still got games from Pinfest.
And I'll show you a little thing we had built. So at the moment, what we've got now, we've got Cardwiz on the bench, on the operating table. We've got Beach Club out in the front shed. And we've got the Supersonic out there. So there's 3 machines. And 2 are underway.
And we've got the lightning ball that we're halfway through painting.
Oh yeah, lightning ball. Yeah, well we got that lightning ball last November. That was a donation to us. We've been doing that up, and we've done the motorboard. We've done everything.
We've done the mechanicals of it.
All the mechanicals, just the cabinet.
And the playfield needs restoration as well.
Yeah, we're going to get the playfield, some artistic work done on that by a friend of ours. So that'll be pretty good. Well, what else we got there? Well, that's it. We've got 2 machines waiting to go back to Tasmania. They were the guy brought sent a pro football up to be repaired. They went out to Pinfest and ran flawlessly for 2 days. And he bought a Alvin Gottlieb
AJ soccer ball.
AG soccer ball, that dual headed electronic thing.
Yeah.
Which has got to go back. Tasmania is real. Yeah, the people from Tasmania, it's often called the forgotten state. It even gets missed on maps sort of show you. So you wouldn't want to live there. Yeah, for sure. But it's a very pretty place. There's some lovely scenery down there. I've only ever visited down there once when my daughter lived there in 2010, 2011. But it's not a bad state. I think I've been to more states in America than a lot of Americans that I often talk to when they say, where have you been? And just on that subject, it's 12 months ago now since I was in the States. I arrived on 22nd of September last year. And in fact, this time last year I was in New York City, having a look around there for the second time. And then we headed off to, this weekend, in Pennsylvania is the York White Rose Game Room Show. So I don't know if any of our viewers are going to that, but that's a great show. There's a lot of great people. There are a lot of EM oriented people. So
and we've got those 2 boxes of coals that we bought to go through yet.
Yeah. A guy we know in Queensland, he used to be in the game. He retired about 12 months ago. An old operator up that way got in touch and said, look, I think the guy passed away, and his family got in touch with Tony and said, listen, I've got all this pinball stuff. Anyway, he had a heap of gear that he sold. I think he was sort of selling it on behalf of the family, or he bought it off them, one or the other. So we bought, I guess it's close to 300 coils. So that'll keep us in coils till the day we die, I'd imagine. We've already used, I think, 2 of them. A lot of them are brand new, so that's quite good. So what else we got happening? We ran our training course last Saturday, that's right. Yeah, coils are worth their weight in gold, and particularly to be able to buy so many. I mean, they're cheap enough to buy in America, about 10 or 11 bucks each from Steve Young at PBR, the Pinball Resource, but freight is a killer.
Yeah. Even though we had heaps already, we still doesn't hurt to have some more.
Yeah, so whenever we do an order from PBR, we make sure it's worth just under 1,000 Australian dollars. Otherwise, we've got to pay what they call GST, goods services tax, and sometimes they get you up for other taxes. So it's horrendous. Fortunately, we've got a lot of parts. But yeah, we ran our training course last Saturday morning, and that was very successful. We ran it on the new facility where it was on the back deck of the house that's been built. Well, not the house, the back deck. And we were supposed to have 7, but 2 people had to pull out, as you often get these sort of things. So we had 5 people here, and we have a TV screen up there now, so we were able to hook up our or the tablet and visualise things on the screen and schematics, and made it a whole lot easier. And everyone that came said how good it was, and one guy said it's one of the most professional presentations he's seen. I think he was trying to suck up to us, you know. We're not teachers, we're just humble pinball mechanics. So let's sort of go and show you now our stuff out the other room that we've got, and we'll show you this supersonic. Now I might have to detach from the gimbal to do this because it tends to go a bit funny. So bear with me for a second and we'll certainly do that. Okay, come with me. Here's our Bally slot machine, Monte Carlo. You won't see that one in America, viewers.
Only Australia.
That was only made for Australia by Bally. And I understand the slot machines were made in the same factory the pinball machines were in Chicago. Isn't that cool? There's that card whiz.
The motorboard is a lot better condition now since we've cleaned it
Yeah,
up.
that motorboard, all the wires, you can sort of see it's not perfect, but I know we only used cable ties, but we had...
But we're still troubleshooting, so we didn't want to do it too perfect.
Yeah, the guy paid a fortune for that, and it's got some tremendous problems. We've actually now got to repair the reset bar. The cap on the top's totally missing, so we're going to make something up and see what happens. All right, let's have a look at this. Here you go. Here's our sign. Have a look at that, people. Isn't that cool? So that's on what you call melamide, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
That sign. And we're going to hang that up.
But it's not weatherproof, so we've got to have it in the shed.
Yeah, it's got to be indoors, that particular one. We're going to make some weatherproof ones to go outside. So this is, here's some gifts that were given to us recently. It's pretty cool. People give you gifts. So we got, there it is there first of all. We got gifted a tumbler. Only a basic one, but we've used it already. We're quite happy with it. We got the media that goes with it. A multimeter, and that's for when we open our branch in New York. We'll be moving to New York very soon. No, only kidding. We couldn't afford to. Here's that drop target we're just talking about. That's that bit that, you know, it goes in like a V over there. It's totally gone. So, of course, it won't reset the drop targets reliably. I put a post up in one of the Facebook groups, and someone's got one in, there's 2 available in America, but we're going to try and make something, and we'll do that in our video we're going to do on our troubleshooting video. But we're really happy with the sign, and yeah, I think everyone agrees it looks pretty cool. So that's an example of the signs we were selling. All right. Oh, that's those 2 machines from Tasmania. There's Pro Football, and there's the Alvin Gottlieb all packaged up, ready to go back.
Ready to go in 2 weeks.
2 more weeks. Here we go. We've got here Zachariah Supersonic. Quite a nice back glass on that.
Zachariah's always colourful.
They are, and the back glasses and playfields are normally pretty
I
good.
thought they were great games actually when they come out.
And here's the game itself. Now, like I said, it's got no bonus unit in it. The owner of this comes from Sydney, and you know, everyone, we're in Newcastle. Newcastle is the 7th largest city in Australia. So we're 100 mile north of Sydney, which is the capital of New South Wales, our state. And I think most of our viewers have heard of Sydney, the Sydney Harbour Bridge, the Sydney Opera House. So yeah, we're 100 miles north of that, or about 165 kilometres. So that's roughly a 2-hour trip to get to Sydney, or to get to the heart of the city if you had to go there, which heaven knows you wouldn't want to. It takes you a lot longer. So there we go. Now what else have we got here?
Got this machine we just got in.
Oh yeah, let's have a look at this. Before we, well, yeah, we're going to see that. Here was the another slot machine we've got there. That's a Jubilee, Silver Jubilee Kangaroo Bonus.
Yeah, Aussie.
Yeah, that's an Australian-made machine.
A diamond front, I would assume.
Yeah, they call that a diamond front. Now over here in these, here's all the coils we bought. There they are there. 2 tubfuls. And there's coil brackets and everything in there. So we've got to sort through them one day to, sooner than later, to find out what they are and put them in order. There's flipper coils in there, which is good. There's all sorts of coils. But for those of you that have never seen, here's some of the parts that we have. Like, I know they're a bit messy and we've shown in previous videos. There's our score motors, stacks, player units, more motors, score reels, over there, over yonder, replay units. What else? Oh, here you go, come around here.
Boxes and boxes of score.
Well, that gives you an idea of that bench we had made. Now we had that made so that when we've got the cradle, which you can see right down the other end there, on that bench we can come out here and work on units. Like, for argument's sake, we've got that drop target unit there. Here's some more of our score reels. Bit of a mixture of Williamson Valley in there.
There's a big Indian mow board wrapped up, ready to go, and the game's all finished.
Oh, that's a big Indian, is it? Yeah, we've got to put that in Guy's machine. There's more units there, score reels.
Aussie Transformers.
Transformers, Australian Transformers. Come in handy. What else we got?
Got an old,
there's more score reels and a milk crate there.
Yeah, that's Williams, I think.
That's all. Yeah, that's all Williams stuff. Remember, Williams had 2 types of score reels: large diameter and the smaller diameter.
We've got boxes and boxes of the credit meters and steppers.
Yeah, so we got plenty of parts. So we had to move our whiteboards out into this room. Now, just makes it a bit easier when I've got to mark parts down. That's how we do it. So we're doing card whiz, and there's what we've put in it already. 5 coil sleeves, 1A 256 upstop, 3 snowshoes, PU, that means in the player unit, 1 flipper kit, you know those ones you get from Steve Young, 1 AC pop kit, same thing, A3 47 barrel spring, that's the spring on the plunger, the little compression spring, a drop target rubber, that's those rubbers that go on the
rubber grommet thing.
A rubber grommet, it's taken in the other room. And a rubber kit. So that's what we've put in that so far. There's our family of goats. There's Spanky's children and uncles and God knows who else. Yeah. And on this whiteboard up here, we just have some common parts that we order the numbers off and a bit of information about wiring. Because you Americans do some funny wiring compared to us. I don't know, what's the matter with you? Oh, here was an interesting thing. We did show this in another video, but those 2 nuts were completely missing off the player unit. So that's on the black cam, which is P5A and P5B run out switches. So you can imagine as that's running around, the switches are lifting up and down, throwing everything out. So we had to fix that. And what have we got here? That's our cradle. So that sits on the desk there. And there's our clock. I think we've shown people this before. Kismet. I got that from a guy, he lives in Maryland. His name's Tom Considine, and I think he still sells those, so if anyone's interested, you can get different titles. And it's mainly all the older wood rails and things like that. So that's all good. So, yeah, I think the way things are at the moment, we've got enough work to keep us going for a while. When we get back to Card Whiz, we have started the game and we know most things are working, but we had to troubleshoot
Pretty well working except for the target bank.
a bit. Yeah, that target bank
We had
was
a lot
a
of
big
trouble
problem.
with the bonus unit here. This is a really weird one.
Oh yeah, well, everyone know that's the the ASFS relay in a Card Whiz. They call that the I relay.
Which
And
takes over the bonus unit.
notice that you got wires jumping off wires there. That's to do with and
very
there's only
clever.
one plug. So this is an Ed Krinsky designed machine, and Ed did some fairly funky things with circuitry. Now, not taking anything away from any other designers, baseball games with those interlock relays were quite interesting. Let's see if we can get this gimbal back up. There we go. Have a look at Graham again. Yeah, Krinsky did some very, very interesting circuitry, especially in those baseball games, like we mentioned Grand Slam a little while ago. We did a little bit of a video on that, and we discussed some of the circuitry at our training course last week. Everyone viewing is probably familiar with Mark Gibson, who runs a site called Fun with Pinball. Now, Mark is been doing pinballs for a long time, and he's really, really good with reading schematics. Just like you are, Ronnie, you give great explanations on schematics, and I consider myself still to be an amateur, but he has made some animations on the circuitry of the man on base interlock relays, and they do 6 things on the 3 relays. So they've got to figure out whether there's a man on the base, and if the man's left the base, is another man came onto that base. So it's quite clever, and he's done some animations on it. And even this week, he emailed, as most of you know, I'm one of the coaches with him on his Fun with Pinball clinics that he has every month. He was working on what was the name? A scuba. Yeah, Gottlieb scuba, like late 60s, early 70s?
69, I think.
69, 70?
Could be wrong.
About some, the plateau you reach in the game by hitting the 5 targets at the top, and talking about the trip bank assemblies and how they operate. So once you get to a certain level, you then light up more, I think it might be pop bumpers on the game, I can't remember the rules exactly. And then what occurs is that it goes sort of backwards. You get the 6th one, then you get the 7th one, and the 6th one goes out, and then you get the 6 and 7 alight again. It's really bizarre, and it's a series circuit. And he likened it to the Chicago coin score reels that are wired in series. Those later model ones, like on that. What was the game we had here? Rockstar, the Chicago coin game, Graham?
Top 10.
Top 10, right, top 10. Rockstar's got leave, isn't it? Top 10, where their score reels are in series, and they've got those wiper fingers on them, and, one fails, the whole rest of them can fail. So he had a problem in this trip bank where the switches were in series, and he's a big fan of using a light bulb tester across circuits, Mark, and I guess I should get round to making one myself, but the lights were glowing very dimly, which puzzled him greatly, and then he cleaned one switch, it still was no better, and once he cleaned a couple of others, it all came good. So what's that equals? Like that Russ Jensen that used to write for Pin Game Journal, I think Russ is not with us any longer, but he used to use what they call a 0 ohms test, so to get the least resistance possible in a circuit. And that's great. And if anyone ever gets a chance to read Russ Jensen's stuff that he put out, I was fortunate to get a copy. I can't remember how. It's not in publication anymore. It's quite interesting. And, you know, he was in the days more so when it was more of an analogue multimeter rather than the digital multimeters. So that's all pretty good stuff. So that's what's happening in the goat shed at the moment. I think we've got maybe a few other surprises coming in before the end of the year, but let's face it, not long to go now till we actually get to Christmas. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm hopefully coming back to the United States again next year and trying to do things a little differently. I really would like to see a little bit more of the East Coast. I mentioned about Boston there a while ago. I would love to have a look at Boston. I think it's a really pretty city, and I love New York City. I've got more to do there. And yes, I would like to get to Virginia, and I would like to get to where else? Well, South Carolina and North Carolina and Alabama. I've got a friend in Alabama and he's really pushing me to go there. So, you know, I've got so much to see and do in the States. Ron, for a little snack for Spanky, thanks for the views. Oh, thank you so much, Ron. That's much appreciated. Oh, Joe, you had the same issue with a P5A, very important switch. Yeah, it is. He was brilliant. I assume you're talking about that Rush Schneider. Yeah, I didn't get to meet him at all. But, you know, it was like Wayne Nyans. We had the opportunity to meet him in 2018, but we were in Illinois, in Chicago, and he was in Arkansas, in a place called Mountain Home, and when we looked at it, it was going to take us 9 hours or something to get there and 9 hours to get back, and it just wasn't logistically possible. But I did speak to him. You know, Wayne only died last year at 104. Hey, what a great innings. If all of us pinball mechanics can live that long, we'll be doing well. So on the phone, I spoke to him for 20 minutes maybe in 2021, I think it was. Yeah, or 2020. And that was great, you know, and he was thrilled to have someone from Australia. And I told him about the story about how the very first pinball machine I ever played, which was Tropic Isle, which was manufactured in 62, I played it in 63, thereabouts, and he made it, and he was tickled pink. And I actually sent him a photo of me with my Tropic Isle. But I'm not sure if he ever got it, because I couldn't ask him because he's since died. And that's a shame. But the good news is I have had the honour and pleasure of meeting, and he's still very much alive, another great Gottlieb designer, John Osborne. You know, he made Haunted House, he did Neptune, Blue Note,
Strange World.
What was it?
Strange World.
Strange World, you know. And, you know, I've been to John's house, and that's really cool. And he's very knowledgeable on stuff from Everett Gottlieb, which is great. Yeah, that is an incredible circuit. It's like a very fast computer, basically. Which one are you referring to there, Ronnie? Which circuit? There are a few, aren't there, that... Well, when you consider these electromechanical games, they're brilliant. You know, they're analog computers, and the circuitry in them. Yeah, it's just... What they did with relays and switches was incredible. They do with a little chip now worth a couple of bucks. They did all this with switches. It was really, really good. Oh, I know what we haven't done. Where is he? Where's Spanky, Graham?
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
With Cecil. They're ready to go to the early opener.
There he is. There's Spanky down there. And who's that he's got next to it? Oh,
It's got Cecil.
Cecil the screaming goat. Cecil's the one that makes all our goat noises.
Yeah, they're talking about going down to the...
Yeah.
A couple of bits on today at the tab.
Yeah, it is, yeah. So I think there'll be another Mark Gibson clinic on toward the end of this month, and I'll certainly be involved with that if I'm around. And we're getting more and more people into that, which is great, because the more people that learn to fix electromechanical machines, the longer they'll last. And to me and Graham, that's a good thing, because we need to keep these things alive for future generations, don't we? If people can't enjoy these classic old games, and there's still so many of them around, it blows your mind to think how many EM games are still around. And it certainly does to me anyway. And every time I go to the USA, you know, of course the home of pinball, you see so many of those games. It's just fabulous. What are you doing at the moment, Graham? You got that?
Oh, I'm going to clean these triggers.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, yeah.
All these armatures,
the sequence bank on Card Whiz.
so they're just full of grease.
Yeah. Let's have a
It
look.
just makes it a bit better.
Can everyone see the grease on that? Let me try and get it in. See all that crap on there on the end of it?
It's all hardened grease, and it's just impeding the...
So we'll get that on we'll clean that with alcohol, and then we'll put it on the buffer and clean it, so the thing slips, the plate slips over it much cleaner.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long to do.
We'll see, like, when you do that, you get a little couple extra stroke on the actual switch actuator.
Yeah, because we had one switch, because that was sticking a bit, it wasn't hitting the switch, it was impeding on the actuator itself, and it wasn't letting the switch close, if that makes any sense. We're going to do a bit of a video on the faults we had with that anyway, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
So
We'll do it now while it's easy to get to.
Yeah, while we're going to do the drop targets.
Yeah, and you'll find it's easy to take the whole trip bank out too, because of the angle of it.
Yeah, it's true.
Gravity helps.
Absolutely. Absolutely it does. Well, I guess we better get back to work. Anyone have any questions they'd like answered while we're live today? I guess put you on the spot, you know. It's great to be able to do things this way and speak to people all around the world. We just another thing we had, not last week but the week before, we had a visitor here from France. And any of you people that are in the EM Pinball group on Facebook and our Goat Shed Facebook page may recognise the name Andre Four. So Andre is a Frenchman, obviously, and he's from Lyon in France, and he's doing a worldwide tour at the moment. He landed in Australia a few weeks back and travelled down from far north Queensland. He came to our Pinfest, and one of our colleagues here gave him a bit of a tour of our hometown here in Newcastle. And he came to the Goat Shed and we had a barbecue in his honour with some Tasmanian pinball fanatics, or nutcases, I think is probably the other way to describe those dudes. And he was very happy to visit us and meet us, and we gave him one of our Goat Shed signs as a gift, and he was blown away by that. So the Goat Shed signs are all around the world now. And I understand in America they've been stolen. My God, who would steal a Goat Shed sign? Don't know, but there was a couple knocked off. We've hardly got any of those left now, but we may get another run. We may even do some Goat Shed stickers. A few people have asked us for stickers. Would anyone be interested in those? Like that? See that one there? Just remove that book out of the road, Graham. A couple of different size stickers. Any interest in those? I don't know. We've got a smaller one.
Yeah.
As I've said to people, we're not here. It's not a business. We're not like Joe's Classic Video Games. They are a business and they need to make money.
We just do it for the hobby.
We just do it as a hobby. Most of the money we earn, we spend on goat food. So once again, thanks Ron for donating to Spanky's Food. And We also buy parts and stuff like that we need.
Yeah. Any money that we get basically goes back into the shed.
Yeah, it does. It does, yeah. Whoops. There you go. We'll get Graham in focus. Yeah, so that's really what it's all about for us. It's not about making a lot of money and becoming rich. You're not going to get rich out of fixing pinball machines, especially electromechanical ones, are you? All right, well, we've been rambling on now for about 35, 36 minutes. So, we'll sign off now, and thanks so much for those that took the time to visit us today. We much appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. So don't forget to look out for our next video, which hopefully we'll have up and running next week. Until next time, thanks for viewing.